What's up, guys? I went through all of the new cards and I thought I'll show you the 10 cards to look at and consider with this new set drop. I specifically didn't put the champions in this list because that would be boring. But to get it started off, first off, Harbinger of Thralls. A lot of these cards were not teased, but this one, when you play it, you summon a frozen thrall or advance all your frozen thralls one round. This is a 2-mana 2/2, super powerful early because you get them out, and as the game goes on, you can play them later, obviously, for that countdown. One of the more useful cards for this specific strategy, and I always like to see it. Protective Broodfather, which is such a great looking card. It's Fury. When it attacks, draw a unit, and if it's a dragon, summon it attacking. And I believe this also includes Ravana, and this is one of the very, very few purple rank cards that are actually deserving of the rank like purple. Like, it's actually worth its value. It's so strong. I love the stats. Can't wait to see it. Next is Ravana, the Lore Keeper. Whenever she's summoned, grant all units in your deck her stats, and then you draw a unit with 5+ power. I think this is definitely one to look at. I feel like I don't know if there's gonna be a deck viable with her, and that's kind of why I put her on the list, because I feel like it's a really interesting card. It's pretty expensive, but that's just for you. So let's see what happens with that. Who can't see it? Noxus, of course. Noxus getting all the good cards. Kind of goes with Annie. 4-mana 2/3. Deal 3 damage to my blocker. If it's dead or gone, I deal 3 damage to the enemy Nexus instead. And so it becomes like a 5/3 sort of. And I think that's super cool. And I think this card is going to be just high value, right? It's just going to be one of those cards that you're like, you know what? Probably a staple, especially with Annie. Wharf Rat. +1 for each round you damage the enemy Nexus. This is obviously a super hard ramp card, but I can see this with Lurk pretty easily. It's going to work really well, and I think this is going to be even a better card for Noxus, because you put 3 in your deck. This thing's going to get huge, and it is pretty easily killable with that 3 health, but it's 2 mana. So I think this is just going to be one of the craziest cards in the game, and I think a lot of people are going to abuse it. Dragon Root. Okay, so I was hoping they would show me this, but overall, not that bad of a card. It's super cheap. It's only countdown 3, so turn 6 you'll get whatever that is. Pretty good. Strategic Execution. 4 mana slow. However, it's very cool to see because you either stun 2 enemies, which I think you have to pick them before they get to choose, or the enemy can choose to spend 6 mana to summon a Legion General. And I think that's such a great card for Yasuo and a lot of these new stun reliant decks for some abilities to go off, because it's one of those things where you can play it like super late game. You can play this card top of the round, and that's pretty terrifying because they're either eating those 2 stun enemies and just watching me get smacked down, or you're just get the general. It's better, So it's super interesting card, super strategy, mind games all day. Ravenbloom Conservatory, countdown 10, create a to bulk, and then every time you play a spell, fast, slow, or skill, you advance it around, and then you get the guy, the god. And whenever he's summoned, grant allies everywhere +1/+0, and for the rest of the game, all of your spells and skills deal 1 extra damage. And I want to put this up there because when this one got teased, I was like, craziest card. One of the craziest cards to pair with Annie. I feel like Annie, Jhin, maybe even Ezreal combinations are going to be insane, just spamming spells all day. The only thing that would make it better if you can figure out how to put Karma in there, but that's just crazy. This one's really interesting for Noxus, especially if you consider Scion. It's whenever an ally with 5+ power dies, create a random follower with 5+ power in hand, and it's just super cool because, you know, there's no countdown. It just stays out there, and it's just going to be super annoying to deal with because it's super early. It gets out there super early, and there's a lot of cards. Like turn 3 is the earliest you can get Noxus to have. Maybe turn 2. Well, I guess you have to play this, but turn 3 you can play quite a few cards that have 5 power and just start slapping people's faces. And then lastly is Obedient Drakehound, which has quick attack for 1 and only attacks when another ally attacks with it. And I think this is such a funny card because this really boosts the idea of Annie. Because I definitely can see Annie turn 1, this guy turn 2, you attack, and it's just like, what can you do? Right? You're just getting slammed in the face. And then it only gets worse from there. So Annie is going to be one of the decks I'm going to play. I'm going to make a couple of variations of her because I think like her version of aggro is like a really good version of aggro. I really don't like just slowly scaling up aggro, right? Kind of like lurk. I like just hard and fast, right? And if you beat me turn 6, you win, right? That's how aggro should be. So super cool. Here's the top 10 cards you should look at. But other than that, stay tuned for more. Peace.